Once upon a time, in the French countryside, lived a poor farmer. Then he got shot for sabotage. And now we're moving on to today's main event, the Propagandacast, with me, Imperial Dane, with a 1 vs 1 on Angoville. Yes, indeed. We won't be stuck on Langre anymore. Yes, indeed, no more Langre matches, at least until I get the next one, because my goodness, I've been getting a lot of fights on Langre. It's unbelievable. I mean, you'd think the engine that randomizes how maps are proceeded has gotten a crush on Langre. Oh, Langre, hold me tight, never let me go. Yet, of course, it hasn't gotten quite the idea that Langre is a map and not a person or anything like that. Oh dear, a bit unfortunate there. And so, of course, we are fighting on Angoville. Yes, indeed. Angoville. Just sort of tuning the voice. Divided in two by the road with the bocage. And, of course, those nasty strategic cut-off points which rather keep you divided from all those tasty resources right in the middle right here and here. Ever so nice, ever so lovely, ever so high. In fact, the rest are in fact low, no, medium as well, but low otherwise. But otherwise, lots of high resources. Not in the sort of they're on illegal herbs, but in the sort of terms that there's a lot of resources right there, which of course makes for some rather interesting ideas.
Welding, shooting,
Very interesting, and I'll just briefly turn things up a bit more. There we go. So of course we are having a look at our opponents, and here in the southern corner we are having our friend back, the burglar of cheese. He for whom the fromage is the key. Cheezburglar, hooray! And I suspect some others are going, oh dear, not him again. But he is back fresh with a match from the front, or possibly near the largest Wehrmacht cheese storage depot near Paris. Who knows, but it will certainly be during the charge for Paris. The Cheezburglar leading the charge, hoping to catch the German cheeses stocked outside Paris. Possibly disguising it as a real assault or raid, but we all know his true purpose: cheese. Leading the 30th Infantry Division. My goodness, I'm a bit tongue-tied. Engineers already ready, and of course more will probably be arriving. Who shall he be facing? It shall probably be the remnants of some Kampfgruppe or Sperrverbande led by JochenS. Scheisse, that's certainly a cheerful name. Who is in fact a level 16 Wehrmacht player who's rank 17. Yes, indeed, almost rank 16 as well. So that's certainly him in the top 20. And he's certainly also level 16 with the Americans, as I noticed. Bit of a traitor there, eh, Jochen? Playing in both sides, eh? I doubt the Oberkommando will like to hear that, eh? But not enough about that. Leading the Sperrverbande Jochen, not Sperrverbande Scheisse, although I'm sure some troopers might be having a bit of fun with that. Holding the line outside Paris in the small French town and the farmlands. Will they succeed? Or will the Cheezburglar break through and steal JochenS cheeses? Let us get right to it. I said let us get right to it. Mr. Start button. Barracks going up. Hi, good luck, have fun, brah. Oh dear, he's one of those chaps. The whole sort of, oh, proper English, that's not good enough for me. No, I have to talk American. Sort of this sort of Californication of it. Oh, tosses. Wehrmacht quarters going up. Lots of pioneers focusing heavily on getting this up. And there we go. The bunker is up. The Widerstand nest a bit there. Certainly more reminiscent of it than some of the other Wehrmacht structures. Rather bunker-like, in fact. Pioneers spreading out towards, no, not both sides. In fact, looks like the pioneers will be making a oh, hiccups. Curse you and your involuntary movements. But focusing heavily on the east, it seems. No, the west, of course, from this sort of point, but of course from the other point it was the east. Engineers on the other hand are in fact heading for these. Riflemen on the way, and looks like we might be seeing a rather heavy focus on infantry. Only using one engineer team. That's in fact quite rare, actually. Instead going straight for the infantry, one engineer, then going for riflemen. Let's see how that goes. Actually, I've certainly not seen it before, certainly not seen it used against me, or have I? Then I've probably forgotten. And Pioneers making a march through here, perhaps hoping to set up position in this house, denying the Americans the access to the east, which of course is where they are focusing, and of course that could be rather nasty, rather dire, with some nasty ramifications. And an MG42 Schwerer Maschinengewehr 42, of course it was sort of a middler, able to function in numerous manners. Riflemen capturing the building force, ensuring those MG42 chaps will not be getting inside. We'll be seeing some Volksgrenadiers riflemen hunting down the Pioneers. The Sperrverbande is so far not really blocking anything. The Sperrverbande being one of these sort of two ad hoc German forces they work with. Generally the other one was the Kampfgruppe, although that was sort of more of an offensive maneuver. The Sperrverbande, or blocking force, or was strictly defensive, I think, although then again, knowing the Germans, even those could be used offensively, since again they had sort of infantry meant for defensive, but even they would occasionally be thrown into it. Usually, in fact, later on, Volksgrenadiers, Luftwaffe, all that. MG42 setting up here. Oh dear, that means of course two MG42s guarding against riflemen, and we're seeing a deep as well. Interesting. MG42 firing away. Pioneers getting engaged. MG42 trying to turn around. There we go. Rifleman caught. Oh dear. Pen suppressed. One down. Jeep sneaking through. MG42 in the west, setting up to protect from any American advances there. Riflemen retreating. Engineers pushing onwards in the east. Riflemen also pushing on in the west. And MG42 forced away by the nasty Jeep with its light 30 caliber Browning air-cooled machine gun. There's of course also the Browning heavy machine gun. That's water-cooled. So of course, as some might be able to guess, the difference is basically how long they can fire. Water cooling providing some better advantages than air cooling. Volksgrenadiers finally arriving on the field. Some light troops, possibly some troops partying in Paris when all things went tits up at Falaise. Getting out and engaging these riflemen, although they might not end up very well. Jeep right out in the front of everything. That's not good. But Volksgrenadiers taking quite a bit of fire. Riflemen continuing the hunt, and the Volksgrenadiers on the wrong side of the haystack. And they are getting gunned down. One chap already down. One rifleman down, but more Volksgrenadiers are going down. Oh dear, forced to retreat. Another is lost on the retreat. Only the squad leader and his friend Heino is there. MG42 setting up to cover the strategic point. Good show there. Suppressing the riflemen most swiftly, firing through the hedges. Buzzsawing through them. Riflemen pushing on in the west, and the Pioneer setting up a blockade position. But what is this? Perhaps he's hoping to take this point, and let's just briefly overlook, of course, if he can sort of get these 2 points here, he can in fact reconnect with this due to this point. But doesn't look like he'll be doing it though. Sadly, that could actually have worked. No, he's moving in the riflemen to perhaps flank that MG42, but Volksgrenadiers are moving in to put a stop to that. And another Volksgrenadier team that is, because the first one is still reinforcing. Volksgrenadiers engaging the riflemen out in the open. MG42 though getting cleared down. One gunner is down. Volksgrenadiers continuing undiscriminately. Pioneers moving in behind the riflemen. Other team of riflemen getting out of the range of the MG42, but still going down. Severe engagement. Riflemen retreating, leaving behind only one team, which is coming under heavy fire. MG42 turning about, opening up, gunning down riflemen. Oh dear. Pineapple grenades on the way. My goodness, he's really hoping for an explosive manner to crack through the Wehrmacht defenses. Mines being laid down to sort of protect this area. Not a bad idea. Also a good idea to put down here and here, at least in my opinion. Volksgrenadiers engaging through the northern approach, securing once more the strategic point and of course the fuel there. But riflemen pushing through there as always, and still continuing to seize territory up here, at least ensuring that the Wehrmacht has to work to take it. And the Volksgrenadiers seem a bit awfully defensive, not entirely sure of what they are supposed to do. Interesting. Riflemen getting ready, perhaps preparing for an assault. Riflemen here, retreating as well. Could in fact be, we might be seeing an all-out assault on this building. Grenades everywhere. That would certainly be bold and aggressive, which is certainly what I like to see. And Volksgrenadiers still standing about here, not entirely sure what to do. They could have at least been bothered to say, I don't know, put down some barbed wire. And grenades going over through the hedges, and of course, that's something to note, of course. Grenades can go over hedges, so can PA rounds, rifle grenade rounds, all that. If it has a parabolic arm, that is not sort of firing direct as a line like a Panzerschreck, bazooka, rifle, well, it can go over hedges. Grenades can, for example, and One MG42 gunner goes down. Riflemen attacking through the south, getting pinned down though, but these MG42 gunners inside there are awfully exposed. Pioneers getting in to sort of present more targets, but still, this could end up badly. Very badly indeed. Another grenade could be thrown in through the window. Oh no, Volksgrenadiers charge in. Counter-charge perhaps. MP40 is being equipped. And the MG42 gets out. The last one surviving. Barely any health left. Jeep getting out there as well. Volksgrenadiers doing the MP40 hunt. Riflemen holding out. Grenades flying over the hedge once more. Killing a Volksgrenadier. My goodness. Leaving the others rather wounded. MG42 getting the devil out of there. Engineers sneaking through behind lines. Volksgrenadiers charging in. One goes down. Only 3 left. Can the riflemen? Yes. Another Volksgrenadiers go down. 4 left. Some with MP40s, though this could turn against the riflemen unless they get support from the Jeep or other riflemen. And now there we go. Volksgrenadier team almost down. Will the Jeep continue the hunt for the Volksgrenadiers? Yes, there we go. Dashing through the streets. Volksgrenadiers running head over heels. Unable to respond, to defend, and of course a negative cover, making them even more easy targets, easy prey for the nasty Jeep. And MG42 pulling back, rather realizing it's a bit exposed. There we go, setting up where one of its flanks is at least covered. Although the Jeep is still going to be firing away. Riflemen getting caught out in the open. Suppressed. Jeep though firing away still, keeping the MG42 under pressure. And Riflemen getting ever closer. And there we go, retreating rather than facing the possibility of a grenade down their throat. Phew. Already 7 minutes into the game and we've already seen quite a bit of action. Huzzah and hurrah. Now we are seeing a creek barracks up and we are seeing some good old-fashioned grenadiers arriving on the field. Some more stout and stalwart troops ready to support the Sperrverbandes efforts. Riflemen once more going for the cut-off point, denying the Wehrmacht the fuel and a lot of its territory. In fact, giving them probably very little territory and a lot less population capacity. MG42 setting up right here, covering this area. Not entirely bad idea. Engineers though a bit exposed right there in the arc of the, or at least in the line of fire. Volksgrenadiers taking this point. Grenadiers charging in. Riflemen are a bit on their own. Jeep moving into the Volksgrenadiers though has to be careful it doesn't get Panzer Fausted. Engineers getting gunned down. Riflemen sneaking about here. Apparently the Wehrmacht stuffed this sort of small opening with barbed wire. And flamethrowers also getting ready, interesting enough. Riflemen engaging from the south. MG42 once more trying to perhaps repeat the trick. MG40 equipped Volksgrenadiers though moving in to put a stop to this. Will the riflemen get inside the building? Yes, indeed. Negating or at least rather severely limiting the effect of the MP40 since MP40s do a lot less damage and a lot less accurate against troops inside buildings. Riflemen getting hunted down by the Grenadiers. Grenades flying. Not killing a single Grenadier though. Jeep getting the devil out of there. Wehrmacht forces pushing onwards. The Jeep apparently still feeling cheeky. Still presses onwards. Rifle inside there taking fire from the MG42. And we are seeing a weapon support center going up. Wehrmacht pushing towards this fuel point, trying to deny it to the Americans. This is a good job. Always trying to deny your opponent the fuel is good. Of course, even better is taking away the manpower, killing the troops. Grenades flying through. Once more going over the hedge. Riflemen getting outside the building, but of course right into the arc of fire of the MG42. Then getting back inside, but still this is not looking good. Grenadiers could be the end. And there we go. One rifleman goes down. And then the Grenadiers make the bad move of trying to move on to the broadside, but still riflemen are forced to retreat though. Good to show there. Will they be taking up positions? Riflemen trying to move through here, but running straight into the MP40 equipped Volksgrenadiers. And there's a lot going on, and I'm talking quite a bit. And riflemen standing right out in the open, getting gunned down. Well, yes, there we go. Grenade right into this packed house right in front of the door. Good show there. Actually, let's just briefly go with this. A trick you can do is if you're, of course, throwing a grenade at a building, and of course you are aware your opponent was probably trying to get out of there and dodge it, you can usually just throw it at the door, for example, right there. He'll get out. Troops all sort of clumped out and standing, yes, we're safe now, and then they're sort of realizing too late, oh shit, there's a grenade at our feet, and then kaboom, lots of dead troops. Nice little trick there, and returning to the fighting. Engineers getting inside with a flamethrower in the wooden shed. Grenades flying into the shed, damaging the engineers. MG42 making a run for it. Flamethrowers apparently unable to fire through the wooden shed, apparently worrying they might cause the entire thing to catch on fire. Grenadiers holding the line most heroically, although they'd probably be doing a better job on the right side of the garage rather than on the wrong side where they're easier targets. MG42 keeping things under fire, showing no breakthrough here, covering the retreat of the Grenadiers. The Jeep though continuing the hunt for the Grenadiers. One Grenadier goes down. We are seeing a pack up, ready to perhaps expect some armor, because he's not really been seeing anything but riflemen and a jeep. And he, of course, hasn't seen there's a weapon support center going up, so that's, of course, not a bad assumption that, oh, right, my opponent is probably going for an M8. Of course, now he's going to be sorely surprised. Nice bit of deception right there by Les Cheezburglar. Sniper moving in, ready to get the surprise on the Hun, the Krauts. Rifleman inside the building, not looking too good. The veterans one sniper taking out a false grenadier. The MP40 no protection, and this jeep is looking a bit shot up, but the false grenadier is seeing quite a bit of fire, and the jeep is knocked out before they make a run for it. MG42 getting flanked, making a run for it, while grenadiers are taking out the riflemen who are trying to get inside a building. But the grenadiers might still have the advantage. One grenade and kaboom, and let us not forget Mr. Jochen and his Speerverbande. Jochen, not Speerverbande Scheiße. We'll leave that to less mature people. Though I'm not sure who I'm talking about. MG42 getting out of there, although probably Jochen. Riflemen reinforcing here, no medic stations, no triage centers. Those can always be nice, but of course not always 100% viable. Rifleman team with Veterancy 1, although awfully wounded, not looking too good. No doctrine as of yet, although 3 command points. Quite a bit of infantry, 2 false grenadier teams and 2 grenadier teams going to be able to provide quite a bit of firepower. Grenadiers pushing in the west, some riflemen could be exposed, could be cut down. And someone's getting sniped. Riflemen getting engaged by the grenadiers. Who shall be winning this fight? Rifleman down, fighting here, rifleman retreating. And a grenade being thrown at the grenadiers. No. Instead, BARs are now equipped, increasing the firepower for all riflemen. Sniper continuing to snipe. Rifleman moving in with support with BARs, recovering the retreat of the sniper, at least the tactical withdrawal. False grenadiers go down, charging forwards right into the open arms of the automatic weapons. That's generally a bad idea when we have MP40s, but though looks like an entire full retreat was forced. And the riflemen with heavy losses managed to force away the grenadiers with even heavier losses. Good show there. Triage center going up. Americans trying to retake this fuel point. False grenadiers trying to cut down a team on the retreat as well. Good job, good job. Heavy losses for the Wehrmacht, but heavier losses for the Yankees. Interestingly enough, no mines anywhere for the Wehrmacht. That could actually be, well, except here. Not a lot of munitions either at the moment. Most of it looks like to actually have gone towards equipping all of his false grenadiers with MP40s rather than, say, mines, Panzerschrecks, mines, you know, the usual, mines. Grenadiers taking this point back, once more denying it to the Americans. Large American counter assault moving in, snipers as well, and looks like a Wehrmacht sniper is also ready to do a bit of counter sniping. Good show there. And riflemen holding the line in the north, but they are awfully exposed. MG42 might be gunning them down any second. Sniper moving in, although he is exposed. 2 riflemen are down. Oh dear, an entire team cut down by the MG42. Spot on marksmanship right there, and the BAR now property of the Wehrmacht. Gefreiter Hans-Jürgen. Who knows? False grenadiers and grenadiers sneaking about there. Wehrmacht sniper moving in. Will the American sniper expose himself, or will the German sniper not really get the point of counter sniping? There we go. No, the German sniper was too late. And grenadiers charging forwards, getting gunned down, hoping to perhaps expose the American sniper by a bold forward movement, but they're running straight into more firepower. Even with a BAR, they're not going to do that much. MG42 still covering this point. This is a rather interesting thing to do, of course, not bad. Trying to cover your strategic points, of course, though I think a bunker might have been a better investment of resource in the longer term than using the MG42 support offensive. Grenade going in at the MG42, clearing out one, leaving behind only one MG42 gunner. German sniper still doing nothing. Riflemen getting suppressed, but they are continuing on nonetheless. 4 command points for the Wehrmacht and the Speerverbande. Riflemen still going for the point. False grenadiers now moving in from the rear. This could have cut off the retreat and do some very nasty damage. But more riflemen are moving in from the rear as well. Lots of rear actions. False grenadiers going down. And we are seeing some infantry, veteranry actually going up for the Wehrmacht. dual infantry. Actually, quite a bit of manpower being invested there right away. No infantry for the MG42 gunners. That could increase the infantry. Volksgrenadier is making a run for it, getting hunted down by BAR equipped riflemen. Volksgrenadier is reporting resistance. Yes, that's probably an accurate way of saying it. If you want to not exaggerate or even sort of understate things. Grenadier sneaking through in the east. Might be getting the drop on the rifleman there. Hiccup again, my arch nemesis. Well, not really. Rifleman hoping to flank the MG42, but still not quite yet there. MG42 making a run for it. Hiccup again. And Rifleman suddenly finding themselves in a pickle, surrounded on all sides. Automatic weapons from the left, rifles on the east, and stuck in the middle with a wrecked French car. Now Volksgrenadier is moving in to cut off the retreat. Good show there. Although the Volksgrenadier are taking quite a bit of fire themselves as further riflemen and snipers are moving in now. Oh dear, Volksgrenadier team was lost. That was an encirclement on the rifleman team that did not work out. American commander Mr. Cheezburglar still pressing on heavily on all sides, keeping up the pressure. And Mr. JochenS is looking really ill at the moment. Some losses and nothing to really replace it. He didn't really take the advantage when he had it and invested into something heavier. Instead he went for infantry veterans. Of course the key is to know when to invest in what. And I really think perhaps a Sturm Armory by now to sort of support his grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers would have been the trick. Perhaps a Puma, perhaps a Sturk, perhaps a Puma, or perhaps even a half-track at this stage could also have done the trick. But sadly, no, nothing mechanized for the Sperrverbande. Apparently they weren't given any. MG42 once more retreating, and he's getting a fresh Volksgrenadier team instead of grenadiers. That's a bit odd. Riflemen are running straight into the arc of fire of the bunker, but they take a pioneer down on the retreat. Sniper still sniping around. Another sniper now arriving on the field to keep up the pressure on the Krauts. Riflemen out in the west, all on their own. Large Wehrmacht force moving in, apparently ignoring the riflemen. Sort of, no, there we go, stopping up. And there we go, one yanked down, and the rest making a run for it. No, wait, only two making a run for it now. Only one making a run for it now, but he's making a most... No, no one's making a run anymore. The sniper got the last one. And apparently he's lost one sniper, or is it that the sniper finally took a shot? I'm not sure. Rifleman in the east getting gunned down. Another veterancy too. Could he lose another one? No. Volksgrenadier is taking heavy losses. Oh dear, will he lose another Volksgrenadier team? No, he makes it. Grenadiers holding the line in the west against a veterancy 1 rifleman team. No medic station or medic bunker up for either side. That's actually interesting, in particular since most Wehrmacht commanders are very fond of them. In fact, he hasn't even chosen a doctrine as of yet. Dear, and he's having a lot of munitions in fact, but no doctrine. My goodness. German sniper moving in, but he's of course awfully close to an American sniper, in fact numerous American snipers. And what's this? Grenades being exchanged, but the grenadiers take heavy losses. Volksgrenadiers moving in. German sniper also needs to get out of there. Grenadiers nearby could be helping, but they are having tea or something. Or perhaps admiring Gefreiter, Hans-Jürgen's BAR, who knows. Riflemen in the east though taking heavy damage. Down to 2 men, and this time the veterancy 2 from a team actually makes it out there in alive in one piece. And the grenadiers finally wake up, realizing it's time to actually shoot some Yankees. Engineers going down, trying to get close, but the BAR and the Kar 98 fire doing their trick. And the engineer team, apparently not quite aware of what's going on, goes down. That was a bit unfortunate. And we are finally seeing some Blitzkrieg, and we are finally seeing some Sturmtruppen arriving, stormtroopers. Apparently some SS Panzer Grenadiers were left behind during the retreat, convalescing, and are now being pulled into the fight. What shall they be getting? Shall they be getting Panzerschrecks, or shall they be getting assault rifles? Who knows? They're certainly cloaking down though, ready to make a Sturm onto Yankees. Grenadiers advancing on the west, BAR blazing. And the Americans run in fear of their own weapon in the hands of stout German troops. Stormtroopers still sneaking about. Riflemen not so sneaking about. Running straight into the MG42. Oh dear. There we go. Riflemen taking a solid Salvo right there, but they might be close enough for a grenade. Yes, indeed. And Jochen rather realizes that, getting his MG42 a bit away into a slightly safe position while the riflemen are still suppressed. And the West, American counterattack moves in. Stormtroopers are still sneaking about, which at that stage is not really useful. Grenadier goes down to sniper fire. The German sniper still doing nothing. Grenadiers taking grenade fire. Oh dear, they need to retreat. Grenadiers, there we go. Stormtroopers still doing nothing. Most heroically. Riflemen getting pinned down and killed down. Pioneers pushing onwards in the east. Veterancy for support units has now been prepared, but there's still nothing heavier. Stormtroopers hiding, perhaps setting up for an ambush for whatever next passes through here. Sneaky, sneaky Stormtroopers. Volksgrenadiers taking a bit of fire and retreating. No, the Stormtroopers are advancing. And the riflemen are firing themselves out. No grenade thrown at the Volksgrenadiers, taking out 2. Oh dear. And the American snipers are suddenly out in the open without anyone to cover them. But there we go, riflemen moving in large numbers. Shaking their fists, shaking their BARs. Causing the Germans to shake in their pants and run away, apparently. And the Stormtroopers still sneaking about, although quite not as sneaky now. Though there we go, sneaky again. Not entirely sure what their plan is. Although I'm rather suspecting at the current stage there is none. And looks like the Sturm Armory will soon be prepared, or at least some assault rifles. Americans going for this cutoff point once more. Pioneers finding themselves facing engineers with a flamethrower. Oh dear. Large German counterattack moving in. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers, MP40s, BARs. And some Stormtroopers that ought to be doing something. And there we go. We might be finally seeing them doing something. Taking up positions behind the hedge. Will they finally... No! They're opening up on the sniper, retreating right past them. And the sniper makes it out of there. Grenade thrown at the Stormtroopers, but the Stormtroopers dodge it. Grenadiers also trying to hunt down the sniper, but the sniper makes it out of there. Riflemen retreating. And apparently something has been forgotten.
The enemy has 300 points.
Large American force moving in. No, they're moving away.
They need deployment location.
And then nothing happens. Wait, what's... Riflemen and snipers standing about. Alright, I do believe Mr. Cheezburglar actually explained at this stage he's probably actually AFK. That's a bit unfortunate. Which certainly does allow Mr. Jochen this coup, and let us return to Cheezburglar. And let us also briefly pause for sort of a mid-game analysis. What is the situation? Well, we've certainly seen quite a blow here to Mr. Cheezburglar's 30th Infantry Division. Although finding the spare Verband seems to be doing something right. Again, having suffered quite a bit, having lost quite a bit. Pushing onwards now, though, killing a sniper and some riflemen. Although two rifleman teams has gone down, that is unfortunate, but he has gone for armor doctrine. Actually, he might be seeing Pershings or something else. Supply it up as well. On the other hand, there might be a slight chance for Cheezburglar to push onwards still, if he keeps up the cheer and keeps attacking. Then he might still be able to do the trick. Mr. Jochen not really, still being a bit unsure of himself, I suspect. And still sort of charging across open ground, which is rather his problem. And then again, with this sort of armor doctrine, there might be a Pershing surprise in store, which of course will be most displeasurable to JochenS. And what on the other hand he needs to do is sort of set up a safe zone. He needs to sort of find a spot he can actually operate from. And not be afraid to focus there, rather than sort of jumping from point to point. And not really holding either in very long periods of time, which is giving Cheezburglar the strength and the ability to just sort of continue attacking, doing nasty things. And of course now with the Pershing on the way, he might be able to unleash a very nasty surprise. So let us return to the fight from the view of the Cheezburglar. Sniper moving in, Veterancy 2. Stormtroopers hanging about with some Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers. Grenadiers charging across on ground. Sniper taking down 1. Oh dear. Volksgrenadiers moving in and perhaps hoping to catch that sniper. Grenadiers taking quite a bit of fire. Grenade being thrown, but they're taking heavy losses. Sniper making a run for it. Grenade does nothing. Stormtroopers once more cloaking up. Volksgunners with MP40s. Riflemen getting too close though, for my liking. Riflemen firing at the Volksgunners who are getting ever closer with the MP40s. And what is this? Stu 42. Apparently some armor was made available for the Speerverbande. A Sturmhaubitze. Could most likely though, probably something that was left behind for repairs and then sort of thrown into the fight with this chap. Riflemen advancing. Stormtroopering in with some assault rifles, although I'm still not really a fan of the direct across open approach right into automatic fire sort of approach. Stormtroopers taking quite a bit of fire. Sniper joining in as well. These Stormtroopers need to retreat, and there we go, down to one man though. Volksgunners moving in. Stormtroopers make it out of there. Volksgunners on the other hand might not now that they're facing the full wrath of the Americans. And the Pershing, oh dear, the Pershing, this will be a most displeasurable and nasty surprise for the Speerverbande, which only has one pack, really as the only anti-tank asset, and you really need more than that against a Pershing. At least in my opinion.
Objective secure.
But I can't really help but feel this is going to be very nasty, because he hasn't really prepared him for himself at all. He hasn't really got anything except the pack that can take on armor, and there we go. The M26 Pershing, not really fighting in Normandy, but still makes for an even greater surprise. Now moves in, and the Stu 42 is going to get the shock of his life. Even as the Pershing moves in from the rear, there we go, rear hit. Stu 42 taking one walloping right there. And the 90mm gun continuing to fire away, and somehow the Stu 42 deflects the shot. But will it continue to deflect? And there we go, another hit, and this 242 won't be making it out of there alive.
We are losing a sector.
There we go, Stu 42 lost. And Jochen, rather realizing he is in quite a bit of trouble. Only one grenadier team left, an MG42, some stormtroopers, Volksgunners, and a pack. Pershing charging right through the Bocars, taking a bit of fire from the pack. Forcing the MG42 gunners out of this building, and then getting out of there once more out of the range of fire of the pack. Grenadiers taking quite a bit of fire, MG42 still sneaking about. Americans pushing hard for the west. And a nice hit from the Pershing, killing 2 Grenadiers and gaining Veterans 1, increasing the speed. Another pack on the field ready to present a very tiny pack front. But will it be enough against the Pershing? Oh, hiccups, why must you taunt me so?
Rifle squad has the objective.
And the Pershing moves in the east.
We got company. Enemy troops right fucking now.
And a combined assault from Volksgunners. No storm. Oh, wait, there we are. The Stormtrooper is fully equipped now with assault rifle. Volksgunners running straight into a hand grenade. Oh, dear. Riflemen, though, taking damage, taking losses.
At this rate, we'll be taking Berlin.
And retreating. Stormtroopers advancing, charging ahead, but running straight into the Pershing, which is not good. The pack's unable to actually provide fire support. That was not good either. Now we go, moving the packs, although in cloaked mode. One has to be careful about that, since of course they move awfully slow while in that. Stormtroopers probably reinforcing, and these Volksgunners coming under fire from the Pershing. And turning 2 Volksgunners into paste. Then again, I don't think paste has so many chunks in it. Last Volksgunners make a run straight into the sniper. The sniper misses though. Hooray for the Volksgunners, although he might be getting another shot. Yes, indeed. The marathon sniper, there we go, getting the Volksgunner right through the head. And now the Grenadiers are moving in, perhaps hoping to catch that sniper. Will they succeed? I don't think so. Packs moving heavily in the east.
One of ours.
Pioneers and an MG42 in the west, while everything else, what remains for the Speerverbande, is being heavily pushed towards the east. Das Ost. Packs setting up right here. And the Pershing moves in. And Packs are opening up on the Pershing. Doing quite a bit of damage right there. Some good shots right on the side. Although at the same time, if the Americans charge now, those packs will be goners. Pioneer team knocked out. This is not good. Stormtroopers still advancing, most stealthily, most sneakily. Oh dear.
I am
Sniper running straight into the Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper's delivering a coup de grace right into his face. No, the sniper perhaps will he be making out there? Yes, indeed, the Stormtroopers were too slow. The sniper makes it out of there alive. And looks like Jochen is losing it. Grenade being thrown at the Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers getting out there, getting gunned down, and getting inside the building again. Oh dear, this won't end up happily. Grenadiers moving in from the north. Pershing moving in, opening up on the Stormtroopers inside the building, killing one. The rest are retreating. And looks like Jochen has absolutely lost it. And is now resorting to excuses, and the really poor one, which is luck. Luck did not sort of throw a Pershing into your enemy's hands. That's yourself. Luck is not Pershing shaped, trust me, my friend.
Krauts are grabbing our territory.
That Pershing is really the nails in the coffin. In fact, the Pershing is his coffin. Grenadiers holding the line, but against all this firepower, and of course the Pershing, it's not going to end up well. And a half-track now maneuvering in. Pershing still awfully damaged though. Perhaps some field repairs are in order. Grenadiers retreating. Pack setting up. Perhaps hoping to cover this spot. Who knows?
Pershing here. Rifle squad has the objective. Hi.
Using the half-track to form a swift transportation for the engineers to quickly put together that Pershing, and of course allow riflemen nearby to reinforce. Good. And all is quiet. False Grenadiers sort of left behind enemy lines. Stormtroopers once more advancing in. Opening up on the riflemen. Assault rifles blazing. Grenades thrown right into their path. Again, he moves right into it. Good call there from Cheezburglar. That is throwing right into the path of the enemy rather than at them. That's the key to victory, or at least one of the many keys to the very heavily locked gate of victory.
Enemy unit.
And another false grenade team is lost by that sneaky sniper. Very tough bugger. And ridiculous sniper, not really. That's, again, I can't help but feel that Jochen has lost it. Pershing now advancing straight into the line of fire of the packs. But he is a bit too maneuvering about it, which is not good. Pershing opening up, but with its veterans 1 and field repairs, it is now able to flank about. And begin clearing out those packs from behind. That's of course another thing why you want to be careful about keeping them so close to each other. Of course, since one is flanked, they're both flanked. And now half-track moves in as well, clearing out both anti-tank guns. Run. Right, yeah. He might be level 16, but he clearly hasn't got the manners to support it. And he's certainly lost a lot of all. Pershing now doing what he can, most cheerily. Close though to a Tiger, but he needs those command points. And what is this? Armour veterancy 2. He seems to be really counting on that Tiger now with some veterancy to knock out that Tiger from the rear perhaps. And what is this? Mines being laid down here by Cheezburglar, most sneaky. Seizing the final victory points, pushing on, while apparently Jochen is trying to push on in the west. And laying down right here on the corner in point. Very, very sneaky by Cheezburglar. Bunker looks like to be cleared out. Panzer checks on some of the grenadiers. Bunker knocked out. Kampfkraft Center preparing veterancy 2 for the armor. Lots of mines. Jochen will be having more than one nasty surprise this game, I fear.
They're losing territory.
Grenadiers desperately trying to do something, but oh dear, demo charge being put down on the creek barracks. Sneaky engineers. Well, then again, a demolition charge is not really sneaky, not really subtle. There we go, creek barracks is lost, but Jochen is awfully close to the Tiger. I doubt that Tiger will make it very far. Goliath, demo charge ready. Got knocked out by the Pershing. And there we go, the Tiger can be called in.
sector.
And heavy damage. Engine is damaged. Tracks are blown out. Veteran T2 for the Pershing, increasing penetration. Oh dear. The Tiger is in a lot of trouble. Last one probably also been left behind for repairs, being called in, but it won't be any good. Sticky bombs covering it. Pershing firing away. This is not JochenS' proudest moment, I wager. Then again, I don't think he cares considering the way he's been surrounded so far.
Our sector has been cut off.
M26 Pershing doing its worst. Clearly quite not good either, but the Tiger is worse off. There we go, the Tiger is lost. Die schwere Panzer sind getötet. Something like that for Zerstören. There we go. Stormtroopers doing their best by getting gunned down from all sides. And now Veteran C3 for the Pershing, increasing damage as well. Half-track just joining in for the fun with his 50 caliber machine gun. And that machine gun on the half-track should not be underestimated, it's in fact quite powerful. MG42 trying to cover the northern approach. And what is this? Oh dear, he's really trying to just sort of cheapen this out, saying, well, if you didn't win this earlier, then you must be bad. That's... well, I hate to say it, but that's in fact absolutely pathetic. Utterly pathetic. And just sad, quite frankly. In fact, disappointed. Not a proper officer. Behavior, Stormtrooper was taking heavy losses, and now he's just trying to sort of cheapen up by saying that he must be bad if he didn't win earlier. My goodness. That's just a poor excuse.
Stay in the perimeter. Our base is under attack.
Again, I'm not entirely sure you'd call a Pershing luck. That's sort of what you call planning things out and catching your opponent with his pants down and then lodging 60 tons of armor right up the cheeks. Let's just speed things up. Another Tiger called in. Sticky bombed. Calliope joining in for the fun, but I doubt it will be making it. Packs getting recruited. Sticky bombs getting tossed on. More demo charges on the headquarters. Yeah. That's just pathetic. No excuse for that. If you're angry, internalize it and use it to get better. Don't you take it out on your opponent. So there you go. I mostly deeply apologize for that sort of last thing there. That was absolutely terrible behavior on his part. On the other hand, I thought it was an interesting game. It showed some rather interesting things. It rather showed sort of Cheezburglar rather catching Mr. Jochen in an infantry fight, really sucking him in, and then of course using that sort of getting ready for the sucker punch, keeping sort of right over here I have infantry, and then moving in with a Pershing, really catching him off guard and really doing terrible damage. And JochenS was absolutely not prepared for it. He got floored by it, he took heavy losses by it, and he sort of kept losing. Rather, he really hadn't prepared himself for the long fight. That's sometimes a bit of a problem, you know, sort of, right, let's win early, let's win big, and then sort of when that doesn't work, they sort of put themselves in the tight spot where they haven't prepared no medic bunkers, no defenses, where there were MG42s, but they sort of got outflanked constantly, not a lot of mines, not a lot of heavy armor or anything that can really support his infantry, which rather bit him in the arse. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying, don't act like Jochen. Cheers.